Hello. Hi, hi, hi. Get some. Hello. Hi. Hi, guys. What's up? Hey, guys. Thanks for joining. Hello. Just trying to, let's see if I can. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, guys. Let's see. I'm trying to get this to pin here. How are you? Hi, we're going to talk to Melanie C, of course, of the Spice Girls. Hi from Liverpool. Oh my goodness. Hi. Hello. I keep trying to pin this comment here. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, it looks like she's here. Let's see. Melanie, let's see.
Hi!
Melanie!
Greetings from London.
Are you in London right now? That's what I was wondering. Hi.
Yeah, hello. Lovely to speak to you.
Lovely to speak to you. I have to say, by the way, we are live with you thanks to Jack Daniels. I have my little setup here behind me. So, how are you?
All good. Not gonna lie, it's challenging times. There's been highs and lows, but today's a good day. I released my new song today, so I'm very excited.
Tell me. That was the first thing I wanted to ask you about. Tell me about your new song.
So this is the second release from a new album that's coming later in the year. And it's dancey, it's got attitude.
I
It's
heard it.
about,
It's so good.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
good. Yeah, it was kind of inspired by a little bit of a toxic relationship, that kind of someone you think they're one thing and then like your world's just like shattered when you realize it was all built on lies. And I think lots of us, unfortunately, yeah, we've been through this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit, it's not a revenge track, but it's quite nice to get that kind of, that anger out there.
Totally. And so on a day like today when you wake up, what are the feelings when you drop a song? Is it like nervous? Is it excitement? What are the feelings on a day like
Yeah,
today?
totally. Always a bit nervous, obviously, because you want everyone to love it as much as you do, but mostly excitement because I've been working on this record now. I mean, it's pretty fresh. I started it last year, just before the Spice Tour. And then, the last few months have been lots of writing sessions and recording and getting everything sounding just how I want it, shooting videos. Luckily, before lockdown, we got this one in the bag.
Oh, good.
Um, so yeah, so to unleash it on the world is really, really fun because you get to a point and you're like, I want everyone to hear it now.
Of course, of course. So yeah, how has quarantine been for you? I know, like you said, probably good days and bad days, right?
Yeah, but it's been really busy. I was in LA and I was promoting the first single, Who I Am. And yeah, we had all this like really fun promo set up. I had some writing sessions over there too. Then we were on our way to New York after that. And lockdown happened and we just had to get home. So I got home and just thought, what am I going to do? I've got this new record coming out. I want everyone to hear it, but there are much bigger things going on in the world. So we decided to continue with our plan and we just tried to get creative on social media. We've been doing live Q&As, we've been
Yes.
streaming, doing DJ sets, some performances, and just what I found really interesting about this time, because globally we're experiencing the same thing. Even though we're isolated from each other, I still feel connected and supported, and reaching out to my fans has really helped me in this difficult time.
It is, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
how often does that happen where literally everybody in the world is going through the
Never.
exact same thing?
Yeah.
Never. Right.
Never. So
Yeah.
I think even though, obviously what's happening is horrible and scary and there's so much uncertainty, I think, that we have to draw positives from this. And I've seen the time, although I get frustrated and I want to see my parents, I want to see my
Hmm.
relatives, my friends, and I want to travel, I want to see the fans and perform. But I think it's valuable, Tran, because we never allow ourselves to stop. We're always so busy on this treadmill of life. So we've
Yep.
all had to just like slow down a little. So
Yeah. And so, okay, a few things. So, yes, I saw that you were doing the Q&As. That's got to be so cool. Is there a question you've gotten that's just been like really wild and unexpected during this time?
Oh God. I mean, the great thing about, I have the fans are incredible. They followed me from way back in the 90s with the Spice Girls, and there's
Yeah.
still this amazing like international fan base out there. And they come up with like the most interesting questions. And because I've been interviewed so many times, and then sometimes I'm like, that's a really good question. And lots of people have been asking about, you know, how things have changed, whether it's the recording processes or even, now it's streaming. It used to be CDs. I mean, back in my day, cassettes. But,
I know.
yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about that and to think about how my experiences like making music has changed so much through the years.
It is. It's kind of weird, right? Because, like you said, I mean, I would listen to you guys, to the Spice Girls, on cassettes, and I would like tape it, and then then I have the CDs, and like now it's like totally different,
Yeah.
totally changed. Yeah.
It's amazing. I think it's exciting because it's taken a long time for like the industry to kind of get their head around the whole thing. But I think as a consumer, we just have access to so much music, and it's like instantly. And I think that's really exciting.
And also, your DJ sets are amazing. Like, have you always DJ'd?
I've
I
always
had no idea.
yeah, I wanted to DJ for years, but I never had the confidence to do it.
Uh-huh.
And then my boyfriend said to me, just give it a go. And I was like, okay. So like I booked this lesson, and I just fell in love instantly. And yeah, I was like, I want to do another, I want to do another one. And it's just grown from there. And I love music. I don't get to go out and party like I used to. Now I'm a mum and stuff. So it gives me the opportunity to play all my favorite music and have a great dance. And it's also enabled me to view music in a different way. As a DJ, you're influencing an audience, a dance floor, in a different way than you are as a vocalist. So I think it's really influenced this album. It's made it a lot more dancey.
So this is kind of like a relatively recent thing, the DJing and getting to
Yeah,
do that.
I think it's been 2 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
was
got
so scary when I first went out there, because it's like, being a Spice Girl, you can't just like go and do some quiet little show. It's like anything you do, everyone's like going, oh my gosh, she's DJing. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna mess up.
I know.
But it's kind of like, it's like the pressure's interesting because it makes you be like on your A game no matter what, because everyone's watching. So it's been, I had to jump in at the deep end, but I've loved it. And I think, like everything in life, when you make mistakes, but you kind of, you get yourself out of it, that's what makes you good at what you do, right? That's the experience. So so it's been a fun little journey.
And kind of how you handle it, sure. And
Yeah.
so you're then quarantining with the family?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
and that's been
I
okay.
have an interesting household. So I'm here with my boyfriend and my daughter, and I have two stepchildren. So we have half of the week with those guys as well. So we've kind of got two households kind of quarantining,
Uh-huh.
simultaneously. And which is good in a way, because we have like this dynamic shift halfway through the week, which is, refreshes us all. But
Or
then sometimes we're just like driving each other nuts, like so many families out there I know must
yeah,
feel.
I
Yeah.
know. And also, so for me, because I'm just sort of like hanging out by myself here. And so then that's like a different thing where it's like anybody can, just anybody. I want to see anybody. So I'm happy to see you today. So,
I know. Well, like
yeah.
sometimes I feel like I felt a bit jealous of people on their own, thinking, good,
Yeah, right?
feel for some space right now. And then other times I've thought, oh, yeah, it must get lonely too.
It
Really
did. Like
lonely.
I've gone in waves. Like I've had waves where it's like, oh my God, this is so great. Thank goodness. And then I would say like week 4, I was like, this is not like, what is going on? Like it was a lot. And then since then it's kind of been like up and down, but
Yeah.
it's been good. I feel like that's kind of everybody. Like you sort of go through all kinds of emotions. It's a weird time.
It's weird, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I've been kind of observing myself and my mood, and in the way I've been dealing with things, and yeah, sometimes it's hard, and sometimes even a day, just a single day can have this roller coaster of emotion.
Yeah.
So interesting, isn't it?
All on the same day. I know. So do you mind? Can we chat about Spice Girls for a second? Because I love them
Yes.
so much. Like I grew up, if my like, I don't know, 13, 14-year-old self knew one day I'd be talking to you, I'd flip out. So this is so exciting. So So first, I mean, when you think back on that time, back to the Spice, I mean, you were so massive. You were like one of the biggest groups in the world. What do you primarily think of? Like, do you just think of like how fun it was? Was it just chaos? Like, what sort of comes to mind first?
It's all those things, how chaotic it was, how exciting it was, all of the places we went to, as five young girls from the UK. We all come from pretty humble backgrounds, really, and
Mm-hmm.
we were flying on like private jets, and we were staying in five-star hotels, like we were in Beverly Hills staying at the Four Seasons, and it was just like, what is going on? But I think the memories that I cherish all of my time with the girls, but I think being on stage and just that, the memory of looking out, and we always had so many fans dressing like us.
Yeah.
You had the babies in the poshes and the sporties, and it was just always so fun to look out and see everybody singing along every word.
Is there a story you can think of where just things like you had a moment where you're like, oh my God, this is wild? Like, just, was there like a fan that did something, or was there a moment that it's like, wow, this is just, we are so big and things are crazy? Can you think of anything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we often talk about, we have this big thing in the UK, and our big main shopping street in London is called Oxford Street, and switching on the lights is like a real honor, and it's always a really big star that does it. And the Christmas of '96, so we'd released Wannabe, Say Be There, To Become One was the Christmas single, and we were asked to switch on these lights, and we were so excited, and it was the first time we'd ever been at an event, and we were like the only artists there. We were the only people there that people were coming to see.
Mhm.
And we just saw the streets, just people and people coming, like thousands and thousands of people. And I think that's the first time we were like, oh wow, we did it, we actually did it.
Yeah, right,
i
right.
think I think sometimes you blame other people. If you're like, we used to do these like road shows, like you have the radio road shows and stuff, and there'd be lots of like pop groups at the time there, so you kind of always like blame like that boy band to have like all these girls at the front. But then, at the end of the day, lots of people come to see the Spice Girls, so that was amazing to experience that for the first time.
Yeah. And do you know what I've always wondered? So, of course, you were Sporty Spice, and then everyone kind of had like their alter egos. How did you guys come up with those? Like, did you sit in a meeting room one day and like you were like, well, I'm into sports, so I want to be that, or like, Melby was like, I kind of am out there. Like, how did you guys come up with those?
Okay, so this is an interesting story.
Yeah.
When we first got together, we were, we were looking at lots of girl bands that have been out there, and traditionally, lots of girl bands have either, dressed the same or, coordinated, and we attempted that. We went through this phase of wearing like little dresses, and then we did this showcase where we wore like little Adidas t-shirts and jeans, and there was always someone who was really uncomfortable. So we were in rehearsals one day, and we'd rock up to rehearsals, every day. I'd be in my trackie, and Jerry'd have some like thrift store outfit on and look a bit crazy, and
Uh-huh.
Melby always looked super cool. And we were just looking in the mirror because like doing our choreography, and we're like, why don't we just wear what we wear? Why are we all trying to fit into this mold? So that it just kind of happened organically. And then when we came out, it was actually a magazine in the UK called Top of the Pops magazine, and they nicknamed us. And it was just a little throwaway
Oh.
piece in the front of the mag, and they stuck. And we loved them, and we became caricatures of our nicknames.
That is so funny. I've always wondered. I'm like, I wonder, was that like a thing where you guys sat in a meeting and you like decided, you know what, that's gonna be me? I was wondering always how that was.
But
Yeah.
what a gift, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just like, it was perfect. It
Oh
was just
yeah.
a thing for us. Yeah.
And I think probably like you said, since it was organic, that's why it stuck and why it
Yeah.
resonated with so many people, because it was just
Yeah.
so natural for you guys. I love
And
that.
people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, do you ever feel pressure being sporty? Do you ever wish you were
Hmm.
in Spice? And I'm like, no, I love being Sporty Spice. I am Sporty Spice. I'm probably sporty now than ever.
Yeah,
A few more aches and pains. But
sure.
yeah, no, I love being sporty. It totally is who I am.
Did you see a few years ago? I think it was the Backstreet Boys that dressed up as you guys. They were like on a cruise or something. Did you see that?
Oh, we love those guys because, if you think about it, we were out at exactly the same time.
Yes.
So they were probably the bands that we bumped into the most, you know, whether it was doing TV shows and festivals and different things. And I was lucky enough to perform with them. I opened for the guys actually in Dubai a few years ago.
Oh,
And I
cool.
hadn't seen them for such a long time. So that was brilliant. It was so good to see them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I was wondering that. I would think that you guys would all kind of still be friends, or at least like when you see each other, it's like, oh my gosh, remember when this? Yeah.
It's just nuts. And like every now and again on Instagram, like a photograph will pop up of like us guys and those guys, and we look so young and baby faced.
Yeah, of course. And so I assume you still stay in touch with all the girls, and like, do you have like a group chat going?
We do. And you
Yeah.
know, we've been staying in touch through this, and everyone's good. It's Mel's birthday on Friday, so
Ah,
yeah, so I'm going to check in with her and see how she is. But everyone's good, you know. Everyone, I think, is enjoying some time at home with the children because everyone's so busy. You know, we're usually flying all over the place.
yeah. And do you think, because of course now social media is so huge and massive, do you think you would have liked social media around when you were in the Spice Girls, or would that have just been like too much, you think?
I'm so grateful we didn't have it.
Really?
I'm so grateful that people didn't have cameras on their phones.
Why? Yeah.
Because, you know, we were young and we were going out and we were having fun and we were making mistakes and it wasn't all documented. You know, of course, we have paparazzi to deal with. But I just feel like, you know, I feel for young artists because you know, they are so exposed. You know, there's nowhere to hide anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't because everybody has a phone everywhere, right? And it would be terrifying, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, because when you're young, you know, sometimes you do silly things, right? You know, and you
Yeah.
don't want the world to know about it.
Yeah, of course, of course. And so, you know, and speaking of younger artists, I came across, I don't, and I'm sure you probably remember this, but Billie Eilish said that you gave her the most valuable piece of advice she's ever received. Do you remember what you said to her?
Yeah, well, I met her here. She played a show in London, and I'm a huge fan. I have been for, you know, for a long time, and it was great to finally see her live. And I went backstage and I met her and her brother and her parents, and it was so lovely. And yeah, I was just talking about how quickly it goes. You know, you kind of you're in the chaos, you know, that we spoke about, and before you know it, it's over, and you're like, what just happened, you know? And I just think, you know, I've been so fortunate. I've been working in music for, gosh, nearly 25 years. And maybe it's like an age thing. I always want to say to younger artists, I want to give them advice, you know. I want them to not make the mistakes that I made. And I think sometimes they must be thinking, oh, shut up, grandma. So when
No.
when Billy, you know, really took that on board and she spoke about it, I was really touched, and I thought, wow, you know, that means a lot, that my words aren't, you know, falling on deaf ears. So that was good.
Yeah, because I think what she said is that you reminded her just to sort of live in the moment and to just make sure that you don't really take any of the big sort of stuff for granted. And so is that sort of the advice that you would offer to younger artists? I mean, there's so many
Yeah,
of them, even who I play on my radio show. I
yeah.
mean, is that what you would say? Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I think it's really hard at the time to do it because you work so hard. I think that's what so many people don't realize. You know, so much work goes into, you know, making your music, promoting your music, all of the campaigns. And you can often, you know, I found with the girls, we were living on adrenaline. You know, we were in survival mode. We were away from home so much, and, you know, we were exhausted. So you don't really have time to process what's been happening. Sometimes we were like, you know, what country are we in? What, you know, what continent are we on? You know, you're so
Yeah.
like, you know. So yeah, I think people are much more mindful these days. You know, I think we're more aware, aren't we, of kind of being present. So that would always be my advice. And because you just, as a young person, I didn't ever think about the future. I mean, I was in the present, but before I knew it, I was in the future, you know.
Of
And
course, right? It
that was
happens so
that.
fast. Yeah. So I know, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about your music. So can we expect, do you know a new album can be expected or any?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are putting the finishing touches to it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I got like everything where I had to be in a room with people. That's all done.
Good.
We're doing all the other bits and pieces we can do remotely. And yeah, I think we deliver this week, actually, the end of this week. So the album will be later this year, and it's been lovely to release these two songs quite quickly after each other, Who I Am and Blame It On Me Today. And I want to release some more songs. I want to kind of just keep the music coming. I want people to get really excited about the record.
Yeah. So sometimes I like to ask people, is there an item in your house right now that like we would just be surprised that you have? Is there something like in the room where you happen to be sitting that like is like maybe like, I don't know. Yeah.
But quite possibly, maybe not. If I know there'll be some fans watching this, but my living room is like at the moment is my studio, my nightclub. It's like my
yeah.
It's everything. It's my gym. I've got my Peloton bike over there. But I built a little set for my Q&As, so I have something.
Let me see. I would love to see if you. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see that.
I love this. So she's getting something.
Okay. So this is quite fun and was photographed quite a lot last year. Have you seen this in a picture anywhere?
Oh, that's familiar, I think.
So this was my top from my outfit from the opening of the Spice Girls Stadium tour last year.
Wow, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah, so I have a few costumes because we just wanted to make the backdrop interesting, you know, for find all these things. So I just thought that's quite weird to have your costume in your lounge. Isn't it? There you go.
Oh my God, I love it. What a cool piece. That's awesome. So yeah, well, good. Is there anything else? I mean, I know you have so many fans tuning in right now. Is there anything else that we missed or that you want to let them know about?
Something that they may not have seen. Let me have a look.
Yeah, is there anything else?
Keep moving the frame. I feel
it's so funny. She wants to make sure.
So last year, let me see. Oh, actually, you know what I want to show you? Okay. Oh, I'm kind of breaking the place right now.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I can't wait.
So this is another item, a costume piece. Now this is, I think you're going to like this.
Yeah.
So when I finished my tour with the Spice Girls last year, I went on tour with Think the Pink, who is an East London creative collective. And I had 5 gorgeous drag queens traveling with me. And we performed at Prides all over the world. And I think I was like literally on a float in Sao Paulo about 3 days after the last Spice show. I was like, talk about not knowing where you are in the world.
Yeah.
And I have this incredible stylist, and he made me this one-off piece. And this is a top.
Oh, cool.
But it's made from sneakers. So you can see there's like Adidas here, and then there's Nike here.
Sure, yeah.
Up here, somewhere along here, there's a little feeler bit as well. Here's some feeler. So how talented is he?
That is so cool.
Yeah. So it's
completely so cool.
Unique, yeah. And then I just thought, because
wow.
the fans have seen those bits and bobs. So this is something people may not have seen. So we had a wonderful choreographer on the tour. His name's Paul Roberts. He had these, hopefully it doesn't reflect too much from the light. He had these amazing pictures done of us. So this was
cool.
So this was Sporty House. So this was like me in the center here. This was the opening to the show. We each had our houses, and all my dancers were like super sporty and had like costumes. How cool, right?
That is so cool. So that's kind of like a little like mock sketch of like what you guys wanted to do. Oh, that's so cool.
So cool, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh my God, thanks for sharing. I love those things. That's awesome. Well, Melanie, it's been so great to talk to you. And I hope that like the rest of your quarantine goes well. Have you been doing like the homeschooling thing or not so much? Yeah.
I've been trying. Well, here in the UK, our year 6s go back on Monday, 1st of June. And my daughter's in year 6. So, she's 11, so you know it's kind of it's bittersweet because obviously you're nervous for them, but also excited for me.
Right, of course. Okay, so you don't really have to
it'd be a little bit more normality. We'll be getting up, we'll be getting out, getting to school, you know, so I'm looking forward to kind of feeling like we're getting back to some kind of rhythm and routine.
Yeah, absolutely. So Blame It On Me out today. An album we can expect by the end of the year.
Yes.
Awesome. Melanie, thank you so much. It was so good to talk to you.
Well, next time we speak, I hope we're in the same room.
Me too. I do too. When you come to Chicago, you will have to stop by KISS FM.
I've not been to Chicago for ages, so I really hope I get there as soon as we're allowed to move around.
Oh, we would love that. Yeah. Awesome, Melanie. Good to see you.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Take care. See
You
ya.
too. Bye-bye.